this guy knows this guy, and they're having this conversation, and that to me was just like, what is happening here? And this person is making a deal with this other guy. I
think the main guy's name's James.
Yeah, you would.
Great name, by the way.
You would pick
Great
up
name.
on that. And,
top tier name.
So this is a very short, quick scene of this interaction between this ghostly guy and this guy who is with his wife. And
I'd even say he kind of reminds me of like a Grim Reaper type.
Exactly.
Like you never really see his whole face, and he's got like a real like not hooded costume, but very close, mysterious. Yeah, he's got some creepiness to him, and
you can tell that he's setting you up for the next scene, which is we have a proposition for you.
I want to take a quick pause because I noticed his dialogue was a little kind of weird.
It's precognizant of the doctors. He's which also sets the eerie tone.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I knew it was different, and I like when dialogue is like set apart for different characters. But precognizant, that's perfect because that really sets the character type too. Great catch there.
Well, keep us going, Reed. What are we looking at next? I didn't really do a very good job setting that up. This guy has a deal to make with this other guy. That's about what I gathered from that.
A deal with a devil type character.
Make a deal with the devil, exactly.
Yeah, the phantom character is clearly scratching at an open wound with the Colonel as we come to know him, and that basically makes the proposition of "come with me and I can save your dying wife."
Mm-hmm.
And
a great hook because we don't know what the deal's going to be, but we got to find out.
Yeah, we do, and it probably has something to do with that missing artifact, or the
title,
or the missing something in that case. This is one of the best art sequences when these planes fly into this secret lair.
Yeah, we have like several genres or archetypes cooking here, and that scene of the planes flying into Alp-like mountains is very. I mean, you can only do it in a comic. It's like over the top, James Bond-esque, and it's clearly the artist had a lot of fun drawing it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It took up 2 pages for a reason. It wasn't like necessary for the plot to take up 2 pages, but I'm sure it was necessary for the artist.
He had some fun. And this is weird. So all of this plane flying into this secret lair is to transport and get this stolen goods to the high priest or the high leader of this secret organization. And the secret organization looks like clones to me. Are they clones?
Clones, duplicates. I'm not. I guess it's not. It's certainly one would assume that, but who knows with how the story goes.
Mm-hmm. It's another little hook. It's like, okay, is this Clone Wars, or it makes the death of the twin earlier seem much less callous, I guess, when you know that there's probably 1,000 more of her just like it, sitting in this weird building in the middle of the mountains.
And worshipping Balajor. Is that his name? Balajor?
Yeah, and I'm not sure what like language or ethnicity that is, so that kind of keeps it almost like he kind of has like a Russian or German type look to him, but
he's got that autocratic feel to him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Some weird badge that I don't recognize on his chest.
Thinly veiled fascist.
Yes.
And then we blast right back to James in the stretch limousine, and his ghostly friend going to see about this proposition.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some back and forth with James, and I like this character a lot. He's of the, what do they call him, the greatest generation? You know, like he looks like he's seen some dust ups in his times. And
yeah, who would you like compare him to in like maybe a movie or something else that you've seen?
Oh, he's kind of the sheriff from No Country for Old Men.
there you go.
Oh, that's a perfect one.
Yes.
Great call.
Yeah, he does have that look and
Man
and
of words.
man of
Yes.
few words, and he's not scared. This is what really got me when we go into the city. We mentioned it earlier. When we go into the city, he's not scared. This would freak me out.
Well,
Even just talking to this guy is creepy.
Even before that, the only time he really pipes up is he actually threatens his phantom friend before he walks in, saying that you made me a promise, and you better make good on it. So, for a man of few words to threaten a supernatural being, provides the kind of gravity that this character carries.
Mm-hmm. And even just like in the car, it's not as necessarily important to the plot, but there's a lot of like philosophy type conversation about like the nature of death and like being like kind of hints towards immortality and those kinds of very thematic things, which are interesting to listen to, but we can brush over a little bit because it's all in the title, The Dying and the Dead.
Right.
So let's get into the city here.
Yeah, so he's invited into this, what looks like a small farmhouse, but there's...
Oh, and it goes straight black and white when once they enter this farmhouse.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
with the gray tones. This is pretty cool looking. And he meets more of these sort of duplicates of the ghostly looking guys, and this very pretty, like dark-eyed, ghostly figure, and she's carrying a lantern, and like that scene where she looks back at him, like that almost looks like a photograph. He did such a good job drawing this. And they go through the curtain and down some very long stairs.
Mm-hmm.
They're all also about a foot taller than he is.
Oh, good
wow.
point.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they're much larger creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, so it that does give them a less human-like feel. Like they're like it almost kind of reminded me of in Lord of the Rings when they're in the elf world and all the elves are like taller and it's a very like pristine type city. It kind of reminded me of that type of scene. And even like the boats that they're in, it's like they cross the river Styx kind of thing and they enter before they enter the city. But it's like what is it? Riverdale? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah,
What's
the elf world in
What's the elf world called? I don't know what it is. Someone knows. Just think it in your head, whoever's listening.
Yeah, and I just flipped onto that page, and it's upside down. It's crazy. How do they get into those buildings?
What was the? It kind of
Especially-
reminded. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, especially the dialogue on that page, the one line that life's full of disappointments with like this, Escher-esque, like inconceivable world is, there. I enjoy the humor.
Yeah, I could be anything but less disappointed when I turn to this page.
Very neat. It is so pretty to look at. Like it's just your mind just goes into these buildings, and you must flip over. There must be some sort of other reality that we're not seeing.
Mm-hmm. And we've seen a couple of these full city splash pages in some of the other comics we've done. Even recently, what was the one where it's like the royal family?
Oh, it was
and
low underground, under the water. Like that was awesome by itself. Very modern and crazy, but not nearly the detail of this. This is like every window is drawn here. Nothing is left to. Nothing is left. There's no wasted strokes here. Like everything has a purpose, and you can see them floating into this pyramid-looking building to meet the next character.
Yeah, we have all types of architecture represented here. It's really beautiful to just pick it apart.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's stuff that's like into trees, and you see like domes, and you see like Victorian kind of stuff, and
see cliff dwellings above.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So what happens next?
He makes the deal. He meets the.
Well, he gets offered the deal.
He gets offered the deal. Yes, exactly.
And we don't really even know exactly what the terms of the deal are, because like there's a lot of talk about death and immortality, and there's references to that. Our James Colonel character has some level of immortality, and all these characters kind of do, but the boundaries aren't super clear, and it's done in a way that really, makes you want to find out. It makes me think like, oh, there's only 4 issues here. I will hope there's 20.
Yeah, there's only 4 issues of this comic, so if it's your next favorite comic, it's you're there. But the real kicker is Jonathan Hickman has held on to these comics. The first 3 came out relatively quick fashion. The last one, which came out 2 weeks ago, was a 3-year wait. And it was, and we would often talk about it in comic book club, like, when's that Dying and Dead coming in? It's gonna be here.
Are they all like 60 pages?
No.
Oh, they're like 100 pages?
Oh, no, sorry. I think they're 22 pages, comic book style.
I appreciate in the scene with the proposition how, particularly with this, it's not the bishop character, aside from the near monotone color scheme, is his communication is gestured mostly with his hands, and I love how it kind of speaks to how not all communication is verbal, and like that's just the way he composes his hands in the background shows the mood, shows what he's trying to drive at or get out of the Colonel. And
yeah, to me that's what comics are all about, is not relying so much on the words, but really letting the images do the speaking.
Between that and the Colonel's eyebrows, there's a lot of communication on how these individuals are feeling.
I was just going to mention, this is another great scene where the Colonel is just showing his gravel. He is just he's just such a cool dude, and we find out maybe just a little hint of he's been here before. And that's how these people, these ghostly beings, that's how they knew to find the guy. Basically, that's the gist of this.
And that's why they can trust him, is they know that he's a man who keeps his word. Exactly.
That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. And yeah, he just says it all with his face. But he does have a few back and forth with this guy, which were pretty cool. He's a cool dude.
Mm. And so the deal is that it's not super exact, but we can kind of guess that whoever stole the thing, he needs to get the thing. Whatever it is, the thing.
The thing.
A hook on a hook.
A hook on a hook. And going forward with this comic, you have to imagine that he can't do it alone. And
well, I kind of figured he was a lone gunslinger kind of guy.
No, it becomes a team book.
All right. So we get some new characters. I always like the slow introduction of that kind of thing.
Yeah,
kind of like going back to Walking Dead. I think Walking Dead did a great job of that in the beginning of, each issue would bring its own character. They didn't try to force it all in the beginning.
No. But and you would need a team. I mean, did you see how badass those guys with the guns are?
That's a good point. So we're kind of at the end, but I'd like to know what like